What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fun with Dumb. We got the chat filling up. And remember, if you guys ever want to tune into the podcast live, make sure you check us out on twitch.tv/Dumbfoundead live every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. We take calls. We do this live. There's no editing. It's raw and uncut.
Uncut jams.
Uncut jams. Of course, I am joined today by my fabulous co-host, Rickley.
Wow!
What the fuck? You never do that. That's so weird.
I know. I'm just trying to switch it up today, guys.
Nice.
And of course,
I like that energy.
we have Stephanie Bake, a.k.a. Steffie Bake.
Ow!
Yeah, and of course, our lovely forever intern, Alex. And they're like, why is he always an intern? Are we ever going to hire him? And the answer is no. Even when he becomes a CEO of a company, we'll still call him the intern. What's up, Alex? How you doing?
I'm feeling great. It's a wonderful Tuesday.
It is.
It is a wonderful Tuesday. And you know why it's a wonderful Tuesday? Because today is International Women's Day.
It's the whole month, to be honest with you.
That's
Women's
great.
History Month.
I mean, it's every day.
Thank you.
It's every day.
We like to celebrate every day.
For sure.
Really? How
Shout
do you
out
guys like to celebrate every day?
By having you on the podcast.
So once a week you celebrate every day that I'm on the podcast.
Yes, every day we celebrate that you here once a week.
Nice.
Every
really?
single day.
Oh, cool.
And without further ado, we have the hostess with the mostest, Dumbfoundead.
Oh, thank
There
you.
we go.
I am dumbfounded by how we don't celebrate International Women's Day on a daily basis. Shout out to all the international women out there. Shout out to the local ones as well.
That's nice.
You
Shout
know?
out to all the women.
All the women, national, international,
Yeah.
above, who go above and beyond.
I don't know if you saw my post. If you check out the Fun with Dumb Instagram page, I posted a picture of our lovely co-host Stephanie here. Just saying, big shout out.
He said happy International Women's Day to all our listeners.
Yeah.
And then said stuff. And I was like, what percentage of the listeners are women?
Hey,
Wow.
you'd be surprised.
I was curious about
Don't we
that.
have a lot of women in the chat? All the women in the chat, press 1 right now.
I know a lot of the women
Like a
in the
murder
chat.
click rapper right there.
Yeah, all the women in the chat room, press 1. There you go. Look at this.
Look
I
at the
am
woman.
Look at this. Wow.
I am in
Wow.
love
Look at him
with
coming
you.
here.
Tony, please. Come on, Tony. And Paul. And
Tony.
Who knows? They might be with a girl right now.
Okay, how they're with a girl?
Maybe. And they're like, press 1.
Okay, cool.
Steph, how would you like us to, my girl's a teacher.
Yeah.
Women's History Month is very
Yes.
important at school right now.
Oh.
I'm printing out her little like posters, the Ginsburg, the Maya Angelos. You know, what's an activity that we could do with the kids that you think would be proper for a Women's History Month?
I do like what you just said, where you're all the women in history who have done something, but also maybe celebrating their just women generally in their life who have been there for them.
Oh, that's a
kind
good
of,
one.
Instead of it being like a Mother's Day when they do that, just realizing that's like an appreciation in just people just right in front of us who have like made big differences in our life.
That's a good idea.
And even if they didn't, I
Yeah.
think that's very important to recognize that. I don't think as a kid I really did much of that unless it was like Mother's Day.
Is that a new thing, the Women's History Month? I don't remember really celebrating that back in the day.
I mean, I'm sure there's all these extra days, like
Whoa.
international. Wait, no. I'm not saying it's an extra day.
I know.
Excuse me. I'm not saying. I'm just saying there are new days that
For
are
sure.
implemented.
I never even heard about it
Like,
before.
when we were growing up, it was like Christopher Columbus Day. Now it's Indigenous Peoples Day. You know what I mean? So things have changed.
Things have changed.
I think it was around, but it just wasn't celebrated because like women's history appreciation has not been a big thing. Like we haven't gotten a lot of like this women's rights. All these things happened, I think, in the 70s or 80s. So it's been a very short time where we're seeing these types of it's too new.
I feel like when we were growing up, it was like Mother's Day was like the major like women's appreciation day of some sort. Right? Or something like that.
Exactly.
It felt like that, right?
Yeah, it wasn't much of that. And I'm pretty well, now we have, people tend to, I don't know how serious people take it.
Yeah.
It's like
we want our listeners to go and share this podcast
Mm-hmm.
with another woman today so we can expand our listeners in our community.
Yeah.
Because you complained to us that we have way too many male listeners and
I
less
didn't complain. I just
Not
said
complain, excuse me.
something.
Bad choice of words on International
Not.
Women's Day. Not complaining.
So on
There was
International Women's Day, you want more women to just listen to your pod. Like that's how
Okay,
you want.
bad approach. That was a completely bad approach.
Try it again.
Okay, let me
Try
try.
it again.
Let me go back. Rewind.
Yes.
Okay.
How would you like the podcast to appreciate women? Like what can we do?
Well, we want our.
It's hard, huh?
Hold on.
Come on, bro.
Hold on.
I'm just
All right.
acting-
Hold
I'm being
on. We want to give a platform for more women voices and more guests. Let's have more guests on here that will expand our listeners.
We're only taking woman colors today.
Are
We're only.
or put them at the top.
we gonna get any calls or what? No, we do have. We
No, I think we
some
should
women.
maybe we should have like the callers, whether it's men or women, and give women the first call-ins, but like maybe they say something about women, that why they appreciate women, or like what they can do to help women's causes, or when maybe someone their personal life that they can help.
You
somehow
could
in that.
do. How about you lead the episode?
I was just gonna say that.
How about you lead the
I'm on
episode,
his phone with
Steffie?
Steffi today. Huh?
I love your hair, by the way.
Your
I didn't
hair
say
is
that.
incredible.
Jesus, look
I
at
would
those
like to
locks.
hear. You know what I would like to hear,
What?
since we're just on this,
Mm.
is what do you appreciate about a woman in your life, about their
Oh,
personality,
wow.
maybe, or something that they've done in their life
You know
that
what?
have affected your life.
I will admit, I do think
Admit.
women. What did
Okay, go ahead.
Was that a problematic word? Admit.
Eggshell podcast.
No. I will say since I started collaborating with women on projects, I think there's been so many more layers to the stories and things I've been doing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all my like scripts and TV, film, even music collaborators. Like once you start collaborating, you realize they're the best collaborators because they open up a whole side,
Come on.
a perspective that you weren't
Yeah.
familiar with or you
Yeah.
might not have. You know what I mean?
That's nice. A
Yeah.
different experience, because you have been working with women writers and have had. I think you said that more so in the last couple of years. You feel that
Yeah.
way, and maybe they bring out like an emotional side that you're not accustomed to like thinking about when it
Yeah.
comes to writing.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, honestly, even like the podcast space is pretty male dominated. Let's be real, and not only male dominated. It's
It's like I heard a statistic. It's like 90% men.
yeah,
Damn.
Yeah.
and you know why? It's like because I heard somebody talk about this. Like, podcasts become almost like a safe space for men
Yeah.
because they're usually afraid to kind
That's
of
true.
talk about their feelings,
Yeah, and
maybe in their
emotions.
household with their spouses or whatnot.
Right.
So they're like,
It's like
I need a
venting.
mic. I need a mic.
OBS now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that's the kind of relationship we should have with women.
Not at all.
No one should be afraid or just to kind of or listen and not even
Just-
roll their eyes. You know what I mean? And I've kind of
Wow.
done that. My eyes don't even roll no more.
Yeah, I haven't rolled my eyes since 98. Like,
90,
that's crazy.
97 for
97
me.
for you?
Yeah, I haven't rolled my. Did you just
Okay.
roll your eyes? I haven't seen that in a
Whoa.
while.
Let me just do it.
I haven't seen do it. Let's.
Yeah.
What the hell? That wasn't even an eye roll. That was a
That's called the
possession.
Yeah.
It's been fun with you guys. It's been fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know you still have our, quarrels with us.
Yeah. I mean,
With
but
us.
it's good.
Like, wait, hold on. Wait. I'm cool with
It's not
Steph, yo. Steph and I are good now. You know what I mean?
I love Alex.
Yeah.
You don't think Alex is problematic?
The only thing problematic about him, I would say, it's not even problematic. These are really intense words, by the way. I'm just saying, like, if there was any sort of like, thing that comes out is the fact that he hangs out with people that tend to have more misogynistic views on life. And I think we all have it. Don't get me wrong. I have it too, but I'm aware of it and I work on it.
Did you know? Okay, this is a real statistic. 98% of problematic men in America have that haircut.
Oh,
Show your
God.
haircut, Alex. This is what 98%.
He flung it too, man. He's proud of it, bro.
Yet
Look at
he's
that.
the only one in this room I feel the least like that about.
Really? You think so? Okay, Alex, how do you feel? Why don't you chime
I'm
in on
just
this
kidding.
combo right now, real quick?
I don't want it. This is
Just
not.
chime
It's
in real
not.
quick.
Yeah, I mean, just being a little bit younger and watching people, say the wrong thing at the wrong time, and technology has evolved too, and everything digitally. Like, I went from, I got like a phone at kind of a youngish age when
Say
it was
young
really
one more
doing that.
time, Alex.
Okay. But
Say young one more time, bro.
It's not a whole different generation, but I did.
So what
watch
you're saying
a lot
is
of you
because
guys
you're younger.
screw it up.
You're saying because you're younger, you're less problematic.
No, I think they are more. I think the younger generation are more aware of the issues women go through. They're around it. They're able to listen with an open ear because they're just younger. They haven't learned they don't know as much. And like I think with older men and guys that are, I don't like to categorize, but I do tend to think that the older generation of men, they're used to growing up with this misogyny, and it's harder. Like I hear a lot of men feel like they are walking on eggshells, or they don't feel comfortable being themselves, or they're like the reason they don't want to be around women or talk. It's hard for them to be around just like women who are maybe more outspoken about these issues. They feel like they can't talk, and so they don't want to be around it. And then it's easier for them to problematize, to make it seem like, oh, it's they're immediately like, oh, these girls are feminists if they have an opinion about their own person. And so I'm just saying, like, I just think that it's important for men to be able to, if they want to be part of the issue, or I mean to better or to learn, is to actually listen instead of coming in with their ego of being like, let me fight what they're saying.
I think it's a traditional thing. We grew up in a lot of traditional immigrant parent families where the gender dynamics aren't as haven't been equal. But like Alex, like you have a very Asian American parents. Like both of your parents are lawyers that speak fluent English too. So you probably been around a little bit less of like male dominated household perhaps.
Yeah.
What do you think, Alex?
I love my parents. My parents are awesome. My mom is great. My dad is great. But I think what I really meant to say earlier was like there's a lot more freedom of information. I had access, to the internet, from pretty much the get-go, and just learning like a lot about different things, and going to a high school where they encouraged diversity and different thinking, and you had I think the younger generation is just like you said, we didn't know about International Women's Right Day, but they probably were. It's just a different generation where they're learning different things.
All right, Alex, name 5 women in 10 seconds. 10.
Martha Washington, Michelle Obama, Steffie,
4,
Michelle Zahner,
3,
Chloe Kim.
2,
I
1.
think that was 5.
Okay.
Wow. Thank you for putting me in between.
Wow.
fucking Michelle Obama.
That's crazy.
All right. Steffi, name 5 women in 10 seconds.
Wait,
10,
why? I want you guys to do
9,
it. Why am I doing
8,
it?
7.
I'm not doing this.
6.
Especially
5,
since you were telling me to do
4. All right.
Let's give her 15 more seconds because it's Women's
it.
Day.
No, I'm not doing
15.
it. You do
All right,
it.
how about this? Okay. We got to narrow it down. Not just 5 women, but like in a category.
Okay.
Okay.
5
Wait, are you
female
doing
musicians in 10 seconds.
Go.
5.
Japanese breakfast. Mitski,
Four,
Beyonce,
3.
Rihanna,
Wait.
Japanese
Shaka Khan.
breakfast is a female.
Michelle's honor. Yeah.
Just say Michelle's honor, because it's a woman's name,
Okay. All right.
In music?
All right. Let's
pretty
test Steffi now. All right. Here we
No,
go.
I don't want to do this. I already said I'm not going to do this.
Problematic. No, I'm kidding. Dude.
No, but honestly,
All right.
Women's History Month. You're right. We do want to, just kind of.
I could just hear how many you guys all.
I said 2 ums. I said 2
No,
ums.
but I
right now.
appreciate that you guys are like. I appreciate this. I think this is great, and that thank you for like having a woman on your platform. That that was like a thing. I would say like don't.
Not just a woman, a magnificent woman.
Thank you. I appreciate
A stupendous
that.
woman.
Thank you. Right.
An outrageous woman in a good way.
Yeah.
An outrageous
Oh,
woman.
I like being
She's
I am
outrageous.
outrageous.
Yo, come on.
Well,
I
who's
am
the most
outrageous.
important woman in your life?
Steffi. Let's say.
Shut up, dude.
You want me to tell you why? Because every Tuesday, I learn to silence myself a little bit.
Oh. Do you talk too much throughout the week?
Yeah. For sure. I'm a goddamn maitre d', bro. What do you mean? All I do is talk all throughout the week. So just taking the back seat. Oh, yeah. Let's rewind a little bit, too.
Okay,
You know how
go.
we're talking about our parents, like our immigrant parents?
Yeah.
The truth is, as your fathers get older, they tend to take the back seat. You know what I mean? They tend to, like, your daughter grows up, your wife is done taking the shit, so they weaken up a little bit. And the latter part of my father's years, he's really, definitely there was that chauvinism and just kind of like, you know, the traditional bad Korean tradition of just like men first voice wise, you know, and the woman follow through. But that's been inverted since like the early 2000s for us, to be honest.
You think
with
so?
You. Yeah, for sure. In every way, like with financial decisions and stuff like that. Before, my dad would take everything. Now he asked my mom, what would you like to do? How would this like to be allocated? What would you like to eat? You know, just little things, you know, the feet massages have changed from my mom giving it to my dad giving it to, you know, just little things like that. But I feel like they're making the effort to kind of reverse it a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you though?
You know what I mean? Of course, man. I've been.
Okay.
I've always been
I've seen
That's
a
you
giver
in,
more than a recipient. to
I
be
do.
honest with
I've
you.
seen you in some modes.
You've seen
Very
me in
reminiscent. I've seen you
You've seen
in
me in
very
some
Korean
modes.
dad modes.
Korean.
I've seen you in very
I think
Korean
it's the
dad
fact
modes.
that not only is it like Korean men, you guys are also rappers, and so I think if your rap culture is very misogynistic, just generally. Like,
I mean,
I mean, I watch
80% of my catalog is love songs
I want to
serenading
say
the
87% of my catalog
significant
is,
other.
like bitch, right? Like
is-
that one.
Why do we need to go back to last week of that episode?
Because it's not the past is not erased because it's more, you know, it makes sense for you.
Yo, men can be a bitch.
So the song, that song was
bitch
about
was actually about a man. Though.
It was about a man.
Yeah.
He's my bitch. He's my bitch.
Oh man.
it's great.
She's My Bitch was a remix of the original song He's My Bitch.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, like, I know I'm a feminist and I know I speak on this matter a lot, but I feel like I too have to check myself like every single day with my own misogyny, and also like instead of adding to the problem, which is like me trying to separate myself from men or like making them the enemy, is to like that doesn't work. Anytime like you're trying to work on an issue, it shouldn't be like you're on this side and I'm on this side. It should be
for sure.
like
Don't go at me.
Do you feel like you
Yeah.
catch yourself doing that, like looking at men as the enemy?
not anymore. I used to though.
Yeah.
I used to. I didn't grow up with like you know, I didn't grow up with a father. So like
A good father.
yeah, not even a good father, just a father in general. Yeah. And so it's funny because I think that it's easy for me to not understand the roles or to expect the role of a man a certain way, but it's like I do think a lot of it is it's the women's issues. I read something that said like we make certain things about women's issues when the problem comes from the men. So instead of making it sound like it's the woman's issue, it should be a man's issue. Like when something like rape, that's a man's issue. It shouldn't be a woman's issue. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we should consider a man's issue so that is where the focus is us teaching the men of the boys in our family instead of like a lot of every woman probably, if they come from some sort of a lot of them have had the talk with their parents about like, oh, how a woman needs to stay safe right from this world, how to like prevent certain things from happening. But it should be more about how do we get the boys, how do we get the men to like recognize the issues that are coming from like their side of things.
Right.
And that should be where we start. Like I'm so worried like if I have a kid, like how to like navigate this new way of thinking.
That's true.
Or it's not even a new way. These issues like issues that we've had since we were young. It's a little difficult to have okay, whatever. This is not it.
No.
I
Go
don't
ahead,
know
go.
what this anymore. I know it's just like a.
What was that?
Yeah.
What sound was that, Rick?
That was the woman's appreciation blip. Just like it reminds me to say a compliment every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like this space, I can't say this is the space that I have for me to talk about these things where like men want to hear about this.
I want. Do you want to hear about this? I want to hear about this.
Why do you assume that we don't want to hear about it?
Because I see it in like the comments. I see it on my, on YouTube. It's like
I don't
like
give
I
a fuck
said,
if I listen to the
like the
comments.
listeners in here are 80% whatever men, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
like
but if I listened to the comments long ago, like then I would have folded and made this podcast about something far more stupid. I mean, not that it's that much more intelligent. I mean, we talk about a lot of fast food on here, but yeah.
But, I mean, we have personal conversations, you and I, about this issue, and and it would be interesting to hear you be honest about how this issue has been very hard for you to discuss.
Has it? I'm very not tense at all right now.
Well, yeah.
Well, I think you've had issues with me. You've called me out for moments. I don't know. I just felt like I was stubborn. I didn't feel like I had any issues with women, but because I think I saw that about myself because I grew up with women. Like I grew up with only like really my mom and my sister. My dad was I had a dad growing up, but he was like absent a lot of times, and what I saw from my dad's side wasn't pleasant. He was very like aggressive, a lot of domestic violence in the house. So I've talked about this in the past. So you would think oneself would not continue that cycle and look at it and like kind of learn from it. But I did catch myself growing up and finding levels of misogyny in myself and glimpses of my dad when I was growing up. And I was like, that scared me a lot too.
Yeah.
And I think it gets embedded in you low key. Like you think it's the opposite, but nah, you got to learn from that and implement those things and hear it from an outside perspective. And I think you saw glimpses of that too, right?
What?
Of like me having a little bit of that element.
Yeah, I saw it all. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Has he gotten better?
I think it's hard to say. It's not that he's gotten better or worse. I think it's just he's more conscious of it, but he still makes fun of it, And
he makes fun of it?
Makes fun of what? What I make fun of?
I think if you think that if it's in comedy form, if anything, or if you say I'm kidding or it's a joke after something that you say that like does offend me as
and they try to add some levity to it.
Yeah, but like a lot of people do this, and I don't want to make this so serious. Like I get that certain things are jokes and that, but it's different when it's personal and it's something that I mention is not I feel comfortable with. But I grew up, I'm used to that,
right?
And I think a lot of women are used to that, and it's not that they brush it off; they're aware of it. You can't help but be aware of it because it's your issue.
Right.
Right. And so I think if you have an open mind and open ear to what women say about these things, instead of it being like something that's maybe like a problem or like something to fight or for you to, like feel like you are on the other side of it. I think that's important. Jeez.
Right.
What?
It's hard. This is a hard topic.
Why is it a hard topic?
With.
It seems very chill and loose about it. Why don't we go to Alex right now? And why don't you, Alex, bring up an ancient Asian almanac moment talking about a woman in history that's made
that's beautiful
a huge difference. Alex is like, I was not ready for this.
I did.
I want. Oh, go ahead. No, I do have something I want to.
Alex's meat shield.
I just want
Alex's
to know.
meat shield. What does that mean?
It was a segue, just like our escape route.
What I would love to talk about is I see a lot of Korean culture, and most cultures are patriarchal cultures, right? We grew up seeing like Asian or especially Koreans. I've talked about this like stat where it's like 60 or 70% of women who have come out into the US from Korea have had some sort of form of domestic violence upon them, or they've seen it or been around it. And like, so I personally don't know my Korean heritage enough for me to know exactly. And I think a lot of us, because we were born in the US, it's hard for us to like understand some of that. And especially I didn't have a father in the household. So like, I don't really know, but I have seen women in my life, a lot of women in my life have physical abuse upon them. Like they've been abused domestically and, or heard about it, and important women to me. So this is, I want to know like where, like, how do we stop this? Or like, what can we do personally to like help alleviate some of the women with their issues?
I think
and I'm curious about your experience, because I know you grew up watching domestic
but I think
abuse.
It's just breaking it, you know, the generational cycle, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that starts with cats like us, or even younger, you know, like Alex or whatnot. And I think that part, I feel like it is broken up at this point in our end, at least. We're going to implement it into our cycle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's things we can work on more.
Like anger seems to be a big thing, right? Like anger is what causes, and fear is what causes the physical
For
things.
sure. I would say K-rage, as the Koreans call it, K-rage.
Yeah.
I've never...
What is that?
Like just Korean rage.
Is that a Korean American thing, or is that
just Korean?
Oh, in Korea they call it.
No. It's just like, I think it's Korean Americans call it that, but it's just like this rage that a lot of Koreans have. Like I don't know. Like I've never had that. You know, I know you've had it at times.
Yeah.
I've seen you get angry.
My anger is I'm a very non-confrontational guy. I like to avoid more conversations than anything.
I have seen you
Me
get
angry? I have
and
not
it's
been.
a different way. Maybe you're not like you're not, you know, you get angry if someone doesn't take your side or your opinion on something, and you have to convince people of that your opinion is right. And so you'll get like, what do you mean? You kind of are like, what? Like that energy. That I've seen that type of anger.
It's not really a rage. It's more like, yeah, right. Yeah, you know, like, yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
like, that's
but
the
your
vibe,
voice
you know?
gets louder. Your body gets bigger.
I'm not yelling. I'm not yelling. Like that kind
You're
of
in
vibe.
people's faces.
That is definitely not a conversational right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right.
You know, I think it's an irresponse.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, it's a response to what?
No, just as Korean men, right? Or as Asian Americans, that K-rage thing. I think all cultures have that rage. You know what I mean? It's that boiling point, that temper that we have.
Yeah.
But going back to the reason of like domestic abuse, especially just from my experience with my parents, it derived from like the inability to communicate with each other.
Yep.
You know, it was always like they had 2 points. Usually on top of that, it's just the additional stress of just finances and, you know, just everything stacked up against you. And in no ways is justifying my father's action towards my mom, but I could see the anatomy. I could see the bubbling up of why it's happening, you know? And when my mom is just trying to have a conversation with my father, when he is already so stressed out about a certain thing, like they're not clicking. The words are not hitting, you know? So what happens is he's trying to explain to my mom something. They're both kind of saying the same thing, but they're just saying it from 2 different perspectives. And then the ego kicks in and the pride. You know
what's interesting, what you just said right there, though? I feel like I've never heard a conversation in Korean, in our native tongue, where a woman and a man are like if we were in America in English and like we're in therapy, it's like, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I'll try to do this. Like I've never heard that kind of in Korean. I don't even know what that sounds like in Korean. You know, like a Korean dad being like, I understand what you're saying. I'm gonna take that in, and then we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna work through it. Like I haven't heard that ever in Korean.
You know what I see and said? If it were to be the closest thing, it's like if it is a husband who is more understanding. Which, yeah, it's like pretty crazy.
Yo, who's that blue that says that's not an excuse? Now, I wasn't saying that as an excuse. I was saying, like, that's what I see. Like I just said, I'm not trying to justify anything, but I see the problem is not only just the K-rage. It's just we need to learn how to communicate with our women better, especially men. You know, especially Korean men. We have to be able to share our emotions more responsibly. Funneled to a point where it's not just like overflow where you're just being so emotional, because when that happens, when you're arguing with somebody, it's not like a point-based system where like you want to win the argument, because that's not the point of the argument, right? No one is winning then. It's that then it just becomes like a scoreboard
Well,
situation.
let me ask you this. Do you think in general in these modern times, people are less willing to work through a confrontational situation with a relationship because they don't value relationships as much anymore? Do you know what I mean? Like
you could just pick up and
you
get
could just
another
be
one.
like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this. And then you just dip. You know what I mean? Like, just because nowadays I feel like people don't value many relationships as much as, you know, we used to. And that requires effort, like sitting there, listening, having that dialogue. That requires
well, you know what
time.
That's interesting. I think that, you know, as divorce rates and like people are not a lot of times, both men and women, but I think women are not dealing with men's shit anymore the way things were being run, where the man had to be in power and these things that they recognize, they're starting to recognize it's not right. They might have known it, but we're able to verbalize it, and we have communities where we are helping each other to be able to leave situations that are, you know, not healthy for us. So I mean, this is all kind of like my own experience and people around me, is that they're not willing to deal with the shit anymore. And they might have not before, but it's not as stigmatized.
Yeah, and also there's like-minded women around. You know what I mean? Where it's reinforced. Before, I feel like, I remember there were days, and this is, you know, again, I give my credit to my parents because they worked it out. They didn't give up. You know, they love each other fully now. But I remember there were times where my mom was just like, I'm holding her, and she's like, this can't be life. You know, this is not right. You know, and she couldn't go to her sister. She couldn't go to the church. She had to just process that by herself, you know? There's because so it's such a safe, exactly.
Well, Korean culture, a lot of cultures, shame and guilt is what runs us. Why we don't do certain things or do certain things a certain way, hiding behind, you know, I guess the house that we have. Like, we're hiding that there's issues. It's so embarrassing to have problems. And if we're living within that, there's no way things can feel safe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
So I think that's kind of like what you're touching upon, is the guilt and the shame, and her being like, I can't talk to other people about it because it then makes us not look like the perfect or family.
Right.
But now it's like things aren't that way as much.
You just gave me a revelation. That's exactly what it is. It's like, especially a Korean household, Korean American household, instead of like fixing the problem, we just like paint it over it.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of like actually going to the foundation and fixing like the piping, we're just like, let's renovate. Let's renovate. And you know, after years of renovation,
I've definitely been a renovational kind of guy.
You know, all of us. It's just because you know, it's a privilege also to have the time and the wherewithal to be like, okay, let's sit down and fix these things.
Yeah.
Like, it was always on the go. It was always adaptation. It was always catching up. It was always like, you know, they always felt behind.
Yeah.
So to them, it's like, okay, happiness and fixing the family is bringing in more money, more purchases, more future planning and all like that.
Kind of.
And fixing the root of all those things is it gets harder and harder every generation though.
I wonder, like, Korean, I actually, even in English, I don't know enough words. Like, when I'm angry or something, like, there's certain, you know, it's important to have communication, is what you're saying, because that's what you're talking about when your parents are like arguing with each other, right?
Yeah.
But in Korean, I like don't even know how to express my emotions. Like, there are no words. It's very much like we talk about it. I think Korean Americans, I learned this in my Korean American psychology classes, that a lot of like the pain that we, like, if there's emotional pain, it comes out as physical pain. And so, you know, our parents are like, our head hurts, or like I have a headache. Yeah, it's like that. So like, there's not that many Korean words I personally know, and I don't know if it's just because I don't know Korean that well. Is like, I don't know words to use that are emotion terms.
Is Alex pulling up words right now? Yeah. What are the words we got here, Alex? What is this? What the fuck does this mean?
Can you read it to us?
So there's two of them. There's Hwabyung and then Han.
Yes,
and
we
these
know
are
Han.
The two ones, but yeah, this one is like more of a medical thing for like having a lot of
ailments.
Yeah, ailments and inner feelings that are
Turn into physical. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, psychosomatic symptoms. That's what it's called, right? Psychosomatic. Or
I think that's how I have avoided a lot of confrontational stuff with my parents, because I'm just like, I'm frustrated about stuff and I want to fix things, and I'm just like, you know what, I don't want to talk about it, because I knew I didn't know the language barrier was a huge
Dude, I
thing.
can't even imagine. That's
because I don't even know it in English. Like, it's hard to even do it in English.
I have a
and
language
doing it
barrier in English expressing myself in conversations about my feelings, you know?
Yeah.
And they want us to do it in a whole nother language right now.
I do got to express myself a little more, I think, as far as my emotional intelligence is not fully there, you know?
Well, it takes practice, like anything. Like the way that I grew up, and I'm assuming this is what you grew up with, is us repressing our feelings and not talking about it and ignoring them. Like, that's very easy to do because you've as a kid got so used to doing that because it hurt too much for us to be able to understand what's happening. We didn't know the vocabulary. We didn't talk about these issues. Like, I was not allowed to talk about these issues with my friends. Like, anything bad that happened at home, I did not express it to my friends or anybody. Yeah. So I learned to cope with it as a coping mechanism for us to just, as humans, survive instead of like crying all the fucking time or feeling, is being able to repress it and not think about it. So I practiced that, and a lot of people practice, and the more you practice it, the more that becomes your natural instinct. But like being able to like practice the opposite of what you're talking about, which is to express it and to discuss it, that's literally a practice. And imagine how many years of us doing the opposite. Do you know what I mean? I'll
also say that I wasn't also a great friend where if someone was going through all those things, that I kind of offered the best ear. Yeah. Or like way to kind of make them feel better.
And that is honestly the direct outcome of our families.
Same situation,
like that.
Right?
That's the breaking of the cycle.
Yeah, like even my sister, my younger sister, who was even, probably feeling it, it was more rough for her. Yeah. I just didn't know how to console her, Right. But like, you want ice cream? Like.
But you did kind of, I think, what people do.
Ice cream is
ice cream is great.
Good move. That's a good move, right? What do you think?
Yeah.
We have different ways we try to hide that or to make things better, right? Like we'll buy we'll be like, okay, let's go eat. Yeah. That's something that we tend to do, or like, let's go shop, or let's like
it's a little
not
Band-Aid.
Deal with like a little Band-Aid at the moment,
because
it gives us whatever chemical, I don't know if it's dopamine or certain whatever, like something happens when we're doing these other things that like make it feel like, oh, all these other problems that we had can go away for the moment.
And
right?
they feel like that too, because I've offered that too. You want something?
Yeah.
But where do we learn that? We learned that from our parents. Our parents,
exactly.
Our dads.
Instead of saying sorry for us, it's like pamosa.
It's like dads are constantly. They don't know how to express. They might not know when we're younger how to express it. They're not allowed to. There's no space for men. I don't think that men back then had a space where it was comfortable for them to emote and be comfortable talking about their feelings.
It is really insane how like. My dad would whoop my ass and then offer me 6-piece chicken nuggets, and I'd be like, okay, we're good now. I'm like, really? It took fucking 6-piece nuggets to make that right? It's just like...
We are crawling. We are like literally... We want any tiny bit of affection from that person that was abusing us. Yeah. We want just a little affirmation that we are loved. And... chicken nuggets or whatever it is, like that shit feels like fucking love when you don't have any from that person that you're trying to get the approval from.
Yeah, something called a Happy Meal. Come on,
like,
Happy Meal.
Yeah.
I'm like, he does love me. He really does. Yeah. He just spent $4.99 on me. All right. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, I read this thing right here that says like Steffie hates Korean men. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I grew up thinking that, based on like my family and seeing things of where Korean men, how they were and how I saw them treat like women that were important to me, that yes, in an unconscious manner, I think I did started being like, I will never be with a Korean man. Like I told myself that that's like something that I've literally through therapy started learning like how could I do that to my own people, right?
I thought
And,
the
like,
same thing too.
And I was like,
I'll
no,
never
this
be
is,
with a Korean
and
guy.
so I've learned to shift my life. I hear this a lot from men and women about their Korean parents, right? Is that, and I think a part of why we don't accept, or growing up, we might have not accepted as a Korean American to be like accepting of our Korean heritage because we saw so much shame and problems with it. But through therapy, I've been learning that I don't want to do that. That is a part of who I am. And so I've been practicing, like, obviously, you know, you guys giving me the space and like learning so much about Koreatown and like how much beauty there is in our culture, and like learning that there are these struggles that we all of us are dealing with. Like it's a lot of us.
You
have
know
the
what's
same
always
issues.
funny is like when I see comments, right, about, you know, people calling out Asian girls not dating Asian men, right? And of course, I'm not gonna lie, as an Asian man, I've felt certain ways too when I've seen like an Asian woman, like, and a pattern of them dating like white dudes all the time. But the funny thing is, the motherfuckers who always say this shit, like being all angry as fuck in the chat, I'm like, y'all are the motherfucking reason they don't date Asian men. Like, y'all are the reason. You know, be like, this bitch, blah, blah, blah. Like, don't, like, y'all are fucking it up extra hard, really. You know, like hella incel Asian types that overcompensate because they feel like society has belittled them and emasculated them so much that they overcompensate their like masculinity. Be like, no, I'm a man, I'm gonna go extra hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me.
For sure.
Yeah, what I see is that men feel owed something. They feel owed, and that's the incel thing, right? It's like these men feel like they are owed something from women. And I think that's so crazy. That's such a crazy thing to think, that anyone is owed anything in the first place.
First of all, not that it's anyone's business, but Steffie has dated majority of Asian men in your life, right?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, 95%.
95%. Yeah, shout out to all my Asian men out there. I love y'all. I don't really think that.
Yeah,
and it's funny because I remember
the incels were coming after you right now.
The funny thing is, I've grown up, people always telling me I don't seem like someone that would date an Asian man.
Yeah,
I hear that a
lot.
lot.
Well, look at these guys. They're like every time there's some kind of comment, everyone's like, she seems like she don't date Asian dudes or this. I'm like, motherfuckers are always quick to judge on that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so crazy because I don't want to find fault in it, but I have started dating people outside of just Asians also. I mean, I've always dated.
Thanks a lot, incels. You fucked it up. All right.
It's been multicultural.
Tell me if this thought is kind of on the right path, okay? So, Steph, I agree. I think there is an innate problem that we need to fix as Asian men. The generational, just the pains, you know, and the cycle that goes through. With that said, is it safe for me to say that the generalization of things, when you have like a bad experience or something in the future, it's like you kind of relate, you know, you kind of put these two together, like, okay, so this bad feeling is connected to this thing, right?
Yeah.
This could be for anything. It could be not only from males, it could be from race.
Yeah.
It could be from just a type of person, or, you know, we want to self-preserve ourselves, you know? We don't want to generalize or assume all the time, but using stats, using human wisdom and experience is like, okay, I've been down this road and it tends to end up like this, you know? So I'm not saying let's give up like using stats, but I wish that people could focus more on the potential from like a neutral standpoint. And I think that's responsible from both sides, you know, especially, and I say that after the preface of, but we know that there's a lot of catching up and unlearning that we have to do. But also, you know, my love language is like words of affirmation and encouraging words, you know. And the best example is like, you know, my credit wasn't that good with my parents back in the day because I would lie, you know, like small things. Sneaking out. Did you break this vase? Did you eat this kimchi? No, I didn't. When I did, I got, you know, like. But when I try to be honest and I'm like, okay, Mom, I'm turning a new leaf. I'm trying to do this. But then she approaches me be like, and reminds me of my past shit. It's like it stunts my growth. And not only does it stunt my growth, it doesn't I don't feel like wanting to upgrade because I'm like, bitch, you already like biased. You already putting me down before I'm trying to do these things. Is it safe for me to say, like, as men, we don't deserve it, but for our growth, I feel like we do need to be kind of viewed at from that, like, okay, let's see where this guy goes. Does he have the potential? Instead of just like, nah, fuck all these motherfuckers. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like that's kind of like the aura these days.
I think what happens is, I understand what you're saying, is that you want to start from a clean slate and you're putting the work into being like, hey, I'm doing like with your mom. I mean, I don't know. I think it's easy for a lot of us to live within our past. I think what we don't want as women is for us to feel, I can't speak for everyone, but I'm just saying, like, is that we want to feel like the past is not erased when it is convenient for a man. And this is what I notice is like with anything. I watch 90 Day Fiance because my girlfriend's like so into it. And it's like,
I love that shit too.
whenever I notice, if you watch it, you'll notice it's always like these like weird dudes, right?
We should all just have a fiance for 90 days. You know, then they would always just
try it out. Let us know.
Yeah. You said about erasing your past. Okay, because I'm like Jason Bourne with it too.
Yeah. It's that when it is comfortable and convenient for when we want to erase the past, we just do it.
Yeah.
But the truth is, in history, we've been oppressed. Women have been oppressed.
Yeah.
100%. We have now just like are working on like women's rights and things that we already know were problems. But if we're erasing that, that makes no sense for us because we can't make change if we erase all that.
Right.
It is an acknowledgement of things that have happened and that we are trying to start from a place where we get better by listening, by helping women, by doing things to make a more safe and comfortable space for us to feel.
That's a red flag, huh? When dudes don't want to talk about their past.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In movies, they always make it seem like it's sexy. You don't want to know about my past.
You'll start noticing
ooh, who's this mysterious motherfucker over here?
This pistol.
But that is a form of manipulation technique as well.
Yeah.
Is someone being like, I don't want to talk about this, only when it is convenient for them. I think like your mom, it's easy for us to like hold on to the past because I've done that too, where it's like, oh, well, you're this way, so I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna give you this chance. I think more than anything, if your mom is like, hey, well, you haven't in the past when you're trying to fix yourself, is to recognize that's ego talk from both of you, and you being like, oh, well, then I'm not gonna do it. If you actually cared about this cause and you wanted to work on it, then just do it for yourself first, not whether you need her approval or not.
For
right?
Sure.
Just do it for yourself, and she's gonna see it. She's gonna see and be like, even if you tell her this, don't, us needing, because the reason you tell her is because you want her approval. You want her to show her, be like, oh, well, this is look what I'm doing. Just do the thing. Do it for yourself. Do it for, if it is for her, and she will see in the future as you're working and progressing that she's going to start recognizing that things are happening. It'll just naturally happen. And it might take a while because it took that many years of her seeing not that. Right?
Are you ready, Rick, to take that?
And it's like,
step
you can't
in your
control how
relationship?
she feels. You can only control the things that you do. So you being like, oh, I don't want to do it because she, that's like you being like, that's not a real reason you trying to do anything for yourself.
Even me saying, oh, I need that word of affirmation. Just do it for me.
Yeah, because when are we going to get from our parents exactly what we need?
Is that your love language, Rick? Words of affirmation?
Yes, it is. And physical touch.
I think it's important, like, if you are going to ask your parents for that, be like, hey, this thing makes me happy. Not get to anger when they don't understand it, because it took me this long. It took you this long to understand that that's your words of affirmation is your thing too, right?
Yeah.
So like, I think that's personally, like, explain it to her, but that's not gonna. She
When
probably
they-
will listen.
And they ask me my love. Then they ask me my love language. I'm like, no habla.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
All right, guys, we're gonna take some calls as well. Oh,
was
they're already
beautiful.
stacked up. People are ready to go.
Yes.
People want to chime in. All right, we're gonna get the women.
All the women.
All right, women and children first on the boats. All right.
Multisyllabics.
All right, let's start with Razel. Razel, you're on the line.
If your mother only
With good
knew.
takes with bake. Yes, what's up?
Yeah, I don't know. I think like this is a really interesting topic, and I think it's like super hard to kind of come at it from like a multifaceted approach. But like I have a similar background of like abuse and like whatnot, but interestingly enough, it comes from women. Um, so that's like kind of a thing, kind of like what Steffi was talking about, where like you have to learn like not to embrace like that crappy like crazy fucking incel behavior, but like rather like unlearn the like don't approach that to every woman you're gonna meet like that's different. Because I had multiple growing up, like my mom and then my stepmom. They both were emotionally and physically abusive. So like that's like another thing you have to kind of like deal with, and it totally does fuck you up long term because you're sitting there and like you just don't show emotion because you're gonna either get your ass beat or they're gonna like manipulate it. Like nobody loves you more, nobody fucks you up more either.
Right.
It's like a weird thing there.
Yeah, I think that's very I think a lot of people go through that emotional abuse from, not to take away from your experience, but yeah, the people who have like, it's like our parents.
You said
It's
you've
like
had experiences with your mom too, because she's very strict, right?
She's extremely, I grew up extremely, with a very strict mom.
Right.
And controlling. I don't hold it against her because I don't think she knew how to deal with her issues. I don't think a lot of people back in that time had the privilege or the education to know where that comes from. I mean, she's an immigrant, she's a daughter of an immigrant, or things, and I think like that itself is already hard. Like being even trying to like assimilate and stuff like that. So I don't
My approach to that is just let them, do their thing. Don't try to fix them. They're old. They're going to die soon. So I'm just saying, you're the new generation. I think we try to work a lot on with our parents. I'm like, yo, is that the wrong approach? I'm sorry. I was just saying.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I know, I know like women can be very much that way. I wasn't saying like women aren't that way. I was just...
No, I never thought you did. No, I just thought it was like an interesting ideal there. Or like the other thing too of like it was a historical situation where like my dad, was the breadwinner or whatever, and like neither one of them worked or did anything like in that sense. But then like so it's like weird where they're constantly the ones like dogging, and then at the same time, like I don't know how to phrase this without sounding an asshole, I guess. But like,
No, I hear you.
But like, it was just interesting to grow up around that, where like they were constantly like ripping apart my dad as well as me and like the kids, and like on why we're like little shits, or like how we're never gonna be anything in life, and like all this shit.
Damn.
And like they would do the same thing to my dad, and like it beat on him when he was just trying his best to provide for the whole family, and like he was just like he would work fucking 70+ hours a week just slaving away trying to make sure we had food on the table, and then he'd have to come home and like get that, and it was just like super unfortunate. I think they definitely fucked him up too, and luckily I'm an adult now, so we were able to kind of communicate, but like we weren't close for the longest time because I just wanted to get away from home and be a family and like learn and embrace other things to kind of get away from it.
I think a lot of this stuff is just like most of this is mental health issues. Like our problem with mental health just generally is just fucked. Like I think that everyone just needs to go to figure, like if you can go get a therapist or start talking to people, because like all of us have some sort of issue. Like I
definitely got to work on my mental health, because I feel like I was gonna mask it by getting physically buff. You're gonna be like his mental must be balanced too,
Yeah,
so I got to work on that. But Razel, thanks for calling, man.
I appreciate you, man.
Your tone was getting me emotional. I don't know what it was. Just hit him with the Dr. Drew tone. All right, thanks, Razel. I'm gonna go to Shan Wise over here.
What's up, Shan?
Hi.
Unfortunately, Shan couldn't make it, so let's move on.
Let's give her 3 more seconds.
Okay.
Let's give her 3 more seconds.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to,
One Mississippi, one Shinawizzy.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll come back to Shan. She has to upgrade her thing. Mamacita Tiff. Mamacita Tiff.
Yeah.
There you are.
Mamacitative.
What's up? Mamacita.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. I just recently started listening to all of you guys, and I'm such a huge fan. This is my first time in Discord and Twitch, and I'm so excited to be talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Welcome to-
Thank you. Welcome to the world of dumb. You know, usually 98% dumb.
Yeah.
2%
Yeah.
smart and emotional, like this
I
episode.
think it's a 2% Steffie break.
Oh, it sounds just like me.
What's up, Mamacita?
Not much. I just wanted to say hi because this is the first time I've been able to catch you guys live. Unfortunately, I'm home with my 4 sick kids, so I'm just trying to catch a little break at the moment.
Did you say 4 sick kid or?
Yeah, I have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and 8-month-old twin.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got
that
your
is a
hands full
lot. I
over there.
know.
Yeah, they could start a fire podcast together. Yeah.
I'd love to be there one day.
Yeah.
Just mom life.
Yeah. Have you been tuning in?
I have. You guys are amazing, and I love like catching every show. And like, you know, I don't really sleep much, so in the last few months I've caught up on almost every single one of your guys' podcasts, and it's so entertaining. And I cannot express how much I love your guys' podcast.
Nice.
Thank
Is there anything you
you.
wanted to chime in on today's episode?
Honestly, I would, but it's probably better that I don't because
Oof.
my mom and my sister are home, and like our dynamic, it's very hard to explain.
Yeah. No, I
It's
get you.
been a rough, been
Yeah.
a rough
I
time
feel
for
you.
all.
I hate
therapists,
my family
especially-
too. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I love them. They're cool.
Damn.
No, I love them so much. It's a really touchy subject, especially because like 20 years ago, my dad passed away. So the 3 of us kind of have to cling together because we're all we have left. I mean, other than the kids and our significant others, but it's, you know, I just want to say that I love and appreciate them with all my heart, and I hope that they know that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe when this airs, they can watch it, and maybe they can hear it, and
We
maybe
love
they'll
that
believe
shout
it.
out
No.
to
She's
the
like,
women. Yeah.
She's like, I wouldn't tell them directly, but maybe through this podcast.
Yeah.
maybe
exactly.
they'll listen then.
I hope they subscribe so they know I love them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tiff.
Do they help take care of your kids?
Yeah, they help so much.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
but you
Having
know-
twins must be wild. I know you said you don't sleep enough, probably, because oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's rough.
Were you
but-
surprised when you got the twin? Like, did you know you were gonna have twins?
No, and I did not know that like when you have twins, it comes from the mother's side. And I didn't know that my mom's younger sister had twins. So I have 3 boys and 1 girl. So the twins are boy girl. So if my daughter were to have kids, it could be a possibility that she could have twins.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
huge
it's,
family.
it's mind blowing that like
Steffi and Alex are twins, actually. Yeah. I don't know where that went wrong on the genes, but
Well,
they are both
Mamacita,
twins.
we just, want to take a few seconds to let you know, being a mother, it's one of the toughest jobs. I know, being a mother myself. I just want to let you know that we appreciate you, the
Thank
lack
you.
of
That
sleep.
means a lot coming from you guys. This is so amazing. I'm so starstruck right now.
Yeah, I mean, it
Aw.
shouldn't really mean anything coming from us telling you you're a great
Yeah,
mother.
you've done way
because,
more than any of
for
us
sure.
have. Like,
But I mean, I'm sure there are times, especially with 4 kids, just like those moments where you're like, not that you want to give up, but it's just overwhelming, just a lot of pressure. But I think just hearing your energy, even having 4 kids around you, you just sound so bubbly and high spirited, and we just want to give you some props for that.
That's
You
a
know
lot
what
of
I mean?
kids. I mean, most of the time,
Thank
people with 4 kids want to
you.
get rid of 2 at least.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you,
not gonna
Tiff.
lie. Some days I want to run away.
Right?
Thank you,
damn,
I'm
guys.
sure.
I'm sure.
If you get rid of one of them, it should probably be one of the twins. You already got one
Yes.
identical one, so I mean, it's like at this point, it's a little surplus situation, isn't it?
Holy
Nah, I'm kidding. She got a Costco
You guys-
supply of kids. All right.
You guys are
All right,
amazing, and I
Tiff.
hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. Thank you so much for taking my call, and shout out to Alex. I hope you're doing well also.
Oh, thank you.
Give her a smile,
Come on,
Alex.
she give her a close up.
Give her a little smile.
Oh yeah, Alex is loved.
Cute.
Alex is loved. All right, thanks, Tiff. Let's
Thank you,
talk
Tiff.
to London
Bye.
on the track. What's up, London? London, are you there now?
LONDON.
Oh, there
What's
you
up,
go.
London?
Hello. Hi, how's it
Hi.
going?
Good.
Good. I just wanted to call and chime in because I know we're talking about Women's History Month or International Women's Month and whatnot. And I just wanted to give a shout out to all the women who do kind of still take on the more traditional roles in the household and that kind of thing. Because I feel like nowadays we talk a lot about being like a boss or running your own company or doing this, being super independent and whatnot. And I think that there's still women out there that do just want to maybe stay home and do the, traditional things like cook, clean, and
That's still
I think
boss
it's-
life too. That could be boss life too.
Well, that's
you know?
what she's saying, that
Taking
it
care of the
is
household.
boss and that it needs to be recognized as well.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah, because I talk to a lot of friends now, and it's kind of like, I've personally had that idea of like, if I get married, I would like to stay home because I think, raising the kids and, not necessarily having someone come, else from outside kind of like take on that role and,
Yeah.
be there and spend more time. Like, I think being home super important. And I think a lot of moms don't get the props that they deserve for staying home and kind of taking on that role. And that is a full-time job. But
And I agree.
I think nowadays we don't.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, starting a
Yeah.
shitty startup doesn't make you a boss. You know what I'm saying? Idea still could be shitty. All right.
Your logo cool, but
Yeah. So your logo's all right, but yeah. No, I feel you. No, and I agree with you. Let's not take away from people hold it down. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I talk to some of my friends, and I feel like when I say stuff like that, it's almost like they think it's holding women back or kind of putting us back where we were and stuff. And I think maybe feminism is more about just having the option, right? You can still be that traditional, but you're not expected to do that, or that's not your only option. But if that's what you want to do, props to you, and stay home and cook, clean, or whatever.
Yeah, I think whatever works for your family is what's most important.
yeah.
And your own mental mindset or health, that's most important.
Yeah, but that's it. That's all I really wanted to chime in.
Yeah,
and
that's
say, 'cause
awesome.
I feel like they get forgotten.
No, shout out. Yeah.
No.
I want to.
I mean, I grew up with a mom like that. You grew up with
You want a
a
baby?
Wait, did your mom work?
The mom,
yeah, or did she
she
grow up-
did when she was working and she was doing all of the above. So to
Yeah.
me, it's like,
Yeah.
and I feel like sometimes she found work to be the relief from the
Right.
household. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know what you mean by that, London. All right,
For
thanks for
sure.
calling.
Thank you for
you.
calling, London.
Yeah,
Appreciate
bye.
you.
Yeah.
We got
See ya.
Kang. What's up, Kang?
Kang Shi.
What's up, Kang?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hi.
I've been listening for a few months, listening to Dumbfoundead's music for like a decade now.
Thank you.
So it's pretty cool to just call in. I didn't catch the pod. I usually watch it on YouTube, so I don't really know the context of the whole conversation. But I wanted to ask you guys more about your music. Is that possible?
Sure. Let's make it brief, though. We're trying to stay on topic, but yeah,
Yeah,
please
for
ask
sure.
away.
Sorry, one question that's been on my mind is for Rick. So you are Stan Dillinger, right?
Yes, I am.
The director of his music videos. It's a separate alias that he's created for himself.
Damn, I've never been asked that just straightforward like that, but I can't lie. You know what I mean? Yes, I am Stan Dillinger.
Okay. And then what was the reason to have that alias?
I wanted a porn star name. So there was, John Dillinger was the public enemy, like Johnny Depp. And then
Yeah.
Dillinger just sounded like a very I don't know, just a slangy name for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with all jokes aside, I just wanted a little pseudonym so when I put out videos, I could just have a little mystery behind it. But yes, I am Stan Dillinger. He died though.
And also, speaking of porn star names, next week we have a guest, Asian male porn star by the name of Leo Weiss will be our guest next week.
Yes,
I thought that was
I
always
love his work.
I love his
Yeah,
work.
I thought that was going to be interesting. That would be interesting, you know. And I found out about him to Asa Akira, who posted something about an Asian male porn star, and I was like, that's kind of an interesting perspective. We don't see that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, he's really like a little pioneer situation.
Nah, for sure.
Trailblazer.
We have
if you
similar
will.
vision, so I love
Okay,
that.
so that'd be our guest next. Thanks for calling in, Ken.
Thanks for calling, Ken.
Thank you. Bye.
Appreciate
All right, we
you.
got Star Gummy. Star Gummy. Sounds like a delicious edible. Star Gummy. Star Gummy going once.
Oh, I hear. Hey, Star.
What's up, Star?
Shit, I wanted to see if we could have a moment of silence for all the Asian dads out there with a lot of Asian pride that have daughters, you know, getting hyped and colonized by that American dream.
Why are we having a moment of silence still? I thought you were about to get real deep. What are we talking about?
Deep, bro.
Asian? What do you mean? Like, could you repeat that? I lost you there. What do you mean? Asian dads with what?
Asian dads with daughters who have a lot of Asian pride. I mean, Asian dads with a lot of Asian pride who have daughters getting piped and colonized by the American dream.
Damn.
Getting piped and colonized by the American dream. What do you mean by that? Do you mean like them dating non-Asian dudes? Like, is that what you mean, or like be more clear?
Yeah. So let me say, my mom came here when she was like 24. You know, all that struggle and shit, and then fast forward, she married a white dude. A lot of trouble in the household, and then, you know, my sister transformed into the same thing. You know, like no more Asian dudes, like they're like my brother, or, you know, that petty shit.
Right.
But do you feel like because of that you've lost them, or they failed in some way? Because that's kind of what you're implying, right? That it's all of a sudden your parents worked hard and now it was all for nothing. Is that
a step backwards or something?
Yeah. I'm just curious. I just want to know what your thought process behind that is. You know what I mean? And it's not
For
like
sure.
attacking you or anything. I just want to know like what you mean by that.
Hey, Chad, let him live. Let him live. You know what I mean? We're all having a discussion right now. So go ahead.
Oh yeah, yo, Kat, if we were in person, I would cook these motherfuckers. Anyways,
No. I'm just curious. Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So
what were you saying? You said
I just want you to elaborate, because what you're saying is like you feel like there was all this work, I guess, from your parents moving here, immigrating, and all the, and your the daughters are lost, I guess. Is that what you're kind of saying? Because they've dated white dudes or whatnot, or the legacy is kind of finished or something?
Oh yeah, for sure. And this conversation is not only exclusive to the Asian bubble. It's exclusive. I mean, it includes like the whole women's right and all that stuff. So like we can get into that as well.
I don't understand at all.
Yeah, I
feel
just
like
don't
you just
understand.
want to. Are you saying like you want to give props to men?
No, I think
I
you
don't
just.
understand.
I feel like, is it more like a pure blood kind of mentality that you're trying to bring? I mean, I'm really trying to just
I think that's
understand
what
what
it
the
is.
main thing. That's what it is, right? Right.
Yeah, on women's internet. I don't understand how that's connected or what.
All right. Okay. Well,
yeah, there was like so many things that were talked about in this thing, and then I don't know, somebody was talking about music, and I just got fucking lost. But
She does.
no, that's fine.
yeah,
I just wanted
I just came in to get that moment of silence, but I guess we're not getting it.
I've been silent.
All right.
No, I got you, bro. Star
Okay.
Gummy, thanks for your opinion, man. I appreciate you.
All right, let's keep it pushing. Well, I mean, you can say your piece. You're allowed to say your piece.
Yeah,
we'll
say
see.
your piece.
All right, the Dr. Susia.
The Dr. Susia?
The Dr.
Hi.
Susia.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we can.
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Happy Women's History Month.
To you
Women's
too.
History Month.
Woo!
I was recently watching the last Women's History Month
Oh no.
episode.
Mm.
And
I wonder which
I just
one
wanted-
was worse, not as far as on our end.
Yeah.
Which one sounded like we were more
Ah.
nervous? Were we more nervous last year or this year?
I had safety glasses on this
Oh,
one, bro.
God.
I think you sound more nervous this year, but I
Wow,
think
really?
you sound like you've grown more since then. Because last year it did sound a little bit like you guys were like joking around with Steffie when she was trying to be serious at some points.
I
But
was-
this time you guys like gave her room to talk.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
I
I mean,
do-
it's about progress, you know? Go ahead.
It was like I don't even that episode I could even see how I was like being too aggressive because I was still learning about myself, and I still, even now, I feel like it's still a hard discussion to have around certain men, I think. But yeah, I definitely feel like I was able to personally, that they were listening more and that I was able to express myself more. And I'm not saying I am perfect or know enough to even like discuss this on like a intellectual level. I just know that I am practicing.
Wait. Is Rick
And-
wearing the same shirt?
Oh my god!
Yo, hold on. Put that on the screen.
It's not,
Oh my
dude.
God!
Wait, did you plan this shit? I know this is the type of shit that you do, bro.
No, I didn't.
I swear to God, you do
Yeah,
this
he
kind
said
of
he
shit.
didn't, though.
The
Did you-
color of the buttons are different.
Oh,
right,
yeah, the
guys?
color of the
Alright,
buttons are
relax.
different.
Wait, is it? What color are the buttons?
Oh my God. I was like,
Oh
did
wait,
you?
the color of the buttons are
Oh,
different.
yeah, they're different.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
different.
Wait, but how are you wearing? I've never seen you wear this.
Well, I
That's
changed
so
the color. I
weird.
changed the buttons.
Did you plan
But,
this?
nah, you know.
Okay, all right. Because I know
Stop.
you plan weird shit like this. I swear to God.
Thank you for Dr. C. That's so funny because before we started this pod today, we did have that discussion of like, oh God, is this gonna go like last time? And also like, please don't. We kind of like did a little thing before.
kind
So
of
that's fun. Yeah, exactly. So thank you for recognizing. That's so funny.
Dr.
Yeah,
Susia, can we spice it up a little bit right now? I'm getting a little. I want to ask you one thing.
What's up?
I'm trying to pamper my girl for Women's Appreciation Month.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Give me two pieces of advice. One in the bedroom, one outside the bedroom.
Ooh, I like.
Okay. So, does your girlfriend like jewelry?
Fuck.
Who doesn't?
Wait,
Yeah.
first of all, what do you mean in the bedroom? Because you have a studio apartment. I'm just trying to.
Shut the no.
Okay,
I'm just trying to
here.
clarify.
No,
Okay,
I
okay.
have a separate bedroom.
Okay,
Relax,
you do. I
bro.
wasn't sure.
Relax.
I haven't been invited yet.
You know.
Same. Can we join?
Can we join?
Can we join?
Swing. Nah, but so Dr. Susia, two pieces of advice, please.
So, I have recently just been trying a bunch of different toys and stuff, and there's this really cute like necklace that looks like a necklace, but it's also a vibrator.
Wow.
And it's from Vesper. I think the brand is called Love Crave.
Okay.
Who wears? It's like does a horny James Bond wear that? Like, it may appear to be a necklace, but you never know when you must please.
Yeah.
Or is it the woman? Is it a woman's? Do women wear it?
Yeah, so it's really cute. Like you would
Oh.
never know.
Well, now
That-
we know.
no,
we
that
know
looks
who the
like-
hell's horny as fuck now.
Wow.
You could use it like on your way to dinner, on your way back from dinner.
Right.
I would say it's not completely incognito. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good.
And then outside of the bedroom, I would say maybe do something where you can tell her all of the things that you're grateful for and all of the things that you just appreciate about her.
Well,
Outside,
being a rapper, it sounds like
Yeah.
you can make some music.
For sure.
but that one's been done
Yeah, that
so
would be
much
really
for
cute.
us.
Oh.
Right.
We've all, like that's what we do, write
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah, but
So
is it
it's
about
rent-free
her?
in my head, like
maybe like
go through the Dumbfoundead catalog, guys.
84% of his music.
But yeah, I mean, there, you know what you could do? Listen to this episode at home.
Oh, with her?
Yeah, she'll be like, ooh.
I do that anyway. Yeah, we do that anyway.
Okay, so
Your girlfriend's a teacher, right?
Yes.
So I have a bunch of like resources for emotional regulation with kids.
Oh wow.
So if she's ever interested in anything like that, I can just make like a little email and send it over to her.
Wow, that sounds
That
super
would-
not sexy. But okay.
That would be amazing.
You want resources?
Here's your new rose and resources for emotion.
Resources are sexy.
I think Pamper, honestly, I would love to like get a facial. If someone was like, hey, I would do a facial and a massage
Yeah.
and a nails done situation. And hey, here's like $1,000, go shop.
That's not bad.
I
Yeah,
would
that's actually
love
nice.
that. Wait,
That
do you
sounds
like
like a good
that,
idea.
Dr. Sushi?
That's a list
is
of a lot
also
of
a good
stuff
idea.
right there.
Yeah.
that I would love that in a day. Like I'd be like, fuck yeah.
All right, Dr. Susia,
Well,
thanks for
thank
calling.
you.
Appreciate it.
that.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, my name is Dr. Susia.
Mm.
Okay. Minding my biscuits. Hello? Minding my biscuits.
Yo, Poppy Suck, I was actually thinking about doing that.
What?
Role play as the naughty misbehaving student.
Don't act like you haven't done that already.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, let's go to the next one. Shanwise. If she doesn't answer in 2 seconds, we could move on.
Give her 5, dude. You
All
know,
right, just because it's International Women's Day.
5, 4, 3, 2. Sharewise, come on. I'm fighting for you over here.
Merboy.
Aw.
Merboy?
No, he's there. He's always there.
Yeah, I'm here.
What's
Hi.
up, Merboy?
What's up? I wanted to call and say happy International Women's Day to Steph.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
You always have
you.
the best compliments, I have to say.
Well,
What?
I got something else for you. I'm gonna manifest this.
Yeah.
I'm hoping some big Hollywood producer watches this episode and casts you as a therapist because you were just spilling everything today, and it just felt so good.
Oh, thank
Well,
you.
you're in luck because
Wow.
I'm a big Hollywood producer.
But you would make us fight for it.
Wow.
Steph, I wanted to ask you, since it is International Women's Day, I want to go out and watch anything you recommend or a book that can educate me as a cis male to be a better person towards women in general, because I respect women. I love women. My mom, my best friend. Shout out to all the single mothers out there.
Yeah, same. Aww.
Might I just add, I also think women are tight.
Yeah. Women are dope, dude.
They could be loose too, you know that?
Whoa.
Wow.
Wordplay? We got a wordplay situation
Sorry,
over
you
here?
threw it out there. I,
I
kinda
meant
felt like
tight
I had to
in the
eat it. I
slang
know.
term, all right?
She meant tight and
I
loose in the
know.
personality term.
Thank you. What's that one movie that we watched with about the woman? I can't remember.
300?
No,
Oh,
you told
okay.
me to go watch
300.
300.
Which one?
Yeah, it was like a woman. It was like a woman getting sexually abused, and then she like.
Aaron Brockovich?
No, it was good. It was an empowering movie with. Let me look at it. Look it up.
Colombiana?
No, it was like we watched it last year.
Well,
It was
I don't
like
know.
a white lady.
We're losing it. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to add, Merboy?
No, I just wanted to call and say that and just
Abdullah
empower.
Anderson.
Yeah, we're here. This is this is Steffie's dropping some gems today, and
Uncut gems.
Uncut gems.
Oh yeah.
Uncut. Foreskin still there. All right.
Smegma and all.
Yep. Thank
All
you,
right,
Merboy.
guys.
Appreciate
Have a great
it.
one.
All right, we
Bye,
got
thank
Fred's
you.
dead. What's up, Fred?
La 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 la.
Hello?
What's up, Fred?
Going.
Going.
Good afternoon.
What's good, buddy?
I just wanted to ask a question from like 2 streams ago. If you guys could live in a movie world, which one would it be?
Shit. Cloudy with Chance of Meatballs, obviously. Come on, bro. What are we talking
Jesus
about?
Willy
Christ.
Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the original.
Yeah.
That would be a fun world, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Hell
but you'd be
yeah.
one of them kids
No,
that just
I would be
ends
wa-
up in the machines
No,
and stuff.
I want to be Willy Wonka.
Oh,
see
that
that.
one Russian nightclub in Triple X, you know what I mean? Where he has that little threesome situation. Let's
That
go.
sounds nice.
All right. Let me see. What would I want to be in? Damn.
Passion of the Christ, Bethlehem, obviously. Let's
Oh,
go.
damn.
Why would you want to experience that, bro?
That's deep,
I
bro.
save you, Jesus. All right. All right. Thanks, Fred. We got to go to Saturated David and then end it with Turtle Duck, and that'll conclude our episode today. Saturated David.
Hey guys,
What's up, bro?
what's up, bro?
Good.
So this is bad timing, but I'll make it short because something happened. But you know, what's it called? Here, stop by because today's my birthday.
Happy birthday, dude.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday
To
to
you.
you.
All right.
Happy birthday to you. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
Saturated
dear
David. Happy birthday
to you.
To you. I will say that
Thank you.
birthday songs like 5
Little
seconds
long.
too long.
Little long.
5 seconds too long.
Yeah.
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 You're like in the TikTok world. He's like, it doesn't fit TikTok's 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Keep
That
it
birthday,
fine,
if
fam.
anything should be TikTok length, it's the birthday song.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. What's up, David? What's good?
Nothing much. I'm on lunch actually. I'm at work.
Nice. What are you eating, bro?
Okay, so I want to get food because I deserve it. It's my birthday.
Yeah.
I got a place called
Yeah, you do.
Bush's Chicken.
First of all, you do deserve lunch when it's not your birthday either. Yeah.
No, but I went to
nutrients.
go out and get food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
okay.
True that.
Yeah,
What'd you get?
I got this fried chicken from Bush's Chicken.
Woo!
I don't know if y'all have it over there.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know George Bush had his own chicken spot. That's crazy.
Bush's Chicken. Nice, bro. Do you have anything planned for your birthday today?
Sorry about that. Could I?
Do you have anything planned for your birthday today?
Today, no. Next week I'm gonna go out.
You should pamper your
my-
girl for your birthday today, bro.
Wow.
What's up, bro?
Look at you.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah. I'm going out next weekend for me.
It's his
my twin
birthday.
brother.
Nah,
Let him do his
You
thing.
could do both. Why don't you guys both get a massage together?
Yeah.
But not. It should be about you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm not really a couples massage kind of guy.
By the way, the movie Merboy, it's called Promising Young Woman. That's a really good movie. And it's
Yeah, what a blast for a weekend. No, I'm kidding.
No, it was for Merboy.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Damn.
And
That's Merboy too.
David, how old are you today?
I'm turning 22. I'm 22 actually. Yeah.
Nice, bro.
Well, happy birthday, man. Have a good one, buddy.
Another lap around the sun.
All
baby.
right.
Bye.
We're gonna
Cool,
talk.
guys. I'll see you around.
Yeah.
Peace.
Turtle duck. Turtle duck. Turtle duck. You're in luck. You're luck. Turtle duck. Turtle duck. We gonna learn to appreciate women.
Quack.
Yo, what's up, guys?
What up, baby?
Yo.
Sorry, I'm so hyped that it's hard to follow that.
What's up, Turtle? What's on your mind, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to first off thank Steffi for sharing everything today, and also that movie that you were talking about, is it Girl with the Dragon Tattoo?
No, it's similar vibes though.
Is it Red Sparrow?
No, it's Promising
No,
Young
it's
Woman.
called
That's what she said.
It's called Promising Young Woman.
It's the same vibes as Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I see.
Yep.
It's a fun watch actually, and it's really intense, but it's yeah, I would suggest it. I think you should go
7.5,
check
right?
it.
IMDb.
Huh? Yeah, it's by Emerald Fennell. Fennell, or I don't know pronounce.
Yeah,
And
Bo
it's-
Burnham is in that.
And Carrie Mulligan is the main character.
Okay.
From the
where is it
professor.
streaming?
It says HBO
Just
Max.
look it up, Turtle. For God's sakes.
Me too.
What else you want us to fucking do?
Give me your Netflix.
You want the Rotten
sign-in.
Tomato score? What the fuck do you want? God damn, where is it streaming? How much is it? It's $3.99 on Hulu, all right? All right, you gotta unlock it.
It's HBO Max. It's if you have a subscription, you can watch it there.
Is it nominated for the... Yes, it's nominated. It actually won an award for Best Screenplay last year.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man, we love you, Turtle Dove.
Nah,
man.
what else on your mind, man? How you been?
No, I just wanted to chime in on the non-confrontational side of things. Like, yeah, like men could be like abusive and stuff, but like, I don't know. I guess disassociating or just tuning out could just be just as bad. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've seen it a lot with like my parents growing up, friends, even myself. You know, I just kind of like want to like just tune out, just be chill about things. But there's really like never a good opportunity to talk about like resolving like little issues. So like even like after a long day, like if my girl like has something to talk about, like I'll tell her up front like, hey, I had a long day, but like just give me a minute and then we'll talk about it. So just I could just decompress and then like we'll talk about it, as opposed to like I don't really want to talk about it right now, you know.
Oh my god, thank you, Turtle Duck. That is like such, I hear this issue a lot. And you are right, like I remember when I had a relationship therapist, I used to do the thing which I'm glad you brought it up, is that like I would try to fix the issue immediately. Like say I get into an argument and like if you're like if the other partner is like extremely tired, which can happen if you just like work all day, like, which I've experienced too. It's like being okay with taking time and being like, hey, I love you. Say something like nice and be like, I care for you. I know I want to talk about this thing, but can we do it, you know, later on, like at 7 o'clock or like after dinner or like tomorrow, so that I'm not so angry or just pent up with emotion from something else throughout the day. You know, like just being like, let me make a time for you. Let's make time for us. But just like, it can't happen right now.
I say that too. I'm like, can we talk like later or whatever? And I hope they forget.
They don't.
They don't.
And you do not do the first thing either.
What? Can we talk about it later? I do say, can we talk about it later? I do say, can we talk about it later?
Okay.
Yeah, I talk about it later. Later could be a year from now.
Exactly. So turtle duck.
Technically.
Yeah. No.
Technically, you're not lying.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding, but yeah, thank you, Turtle Duck, for calling. Appreciate
Thank
it,
you,
man.
Turtle
Turtle
Duck.
Duck seems like he makes time for his girl, man.
He does.
You know what I mean?
He's a good boyfriend.
But
I've seen him actually.
Yeah,
with his
and you know,
girl.
Rick's good, man.
Super
We're all
He's
good
learned
men
a
here,
lot.
and of course, we have an amazing woman on our podcast. who's
Amazing.
blessed us in our recent times in the past. It's been 2 years now.
It's been 2 years.
Has it been 2 years?
Yeah.
2 years?
2 years. Dumb. Before we close up this episode, two kind words about our co-host stuff.
Oh.
You know, she's a handful. I will say that.
No, he's like kind things.
I know.
but
Let me
handful, that
continue.
means you haven't-
So why do you have to?
First, she's a handful, but in the best way
my
possible.
God.
She challenges me, puts me in my place. Sometimes I need to be put.
Playing video games at veteran mode.
Sometimes
you know what I mean?
I need my place
Can
put.
you say something nice about me that doesn't have to do with you? Like say something nice about my personality that has nothing to do with the pod or you. It could be about the pod, but like how it's something
You
I
make
want to
me
hear.
better. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke. No, I think you're goofy in like such a fun way. You brighten up the energy. You're goofy. You're funny.
Okay.
You're a goofy gal.
All right.
A GG. She's a goofy gal.
Here's my compliment to you.
She's super smart. You make me better.
You're like one of those iPads for kids. You know, like the school tools that's like, it makes learning easy and fun and like relevant. You teach me to be a better man while making it fun and making it like understandable. You know what I mean? Before I was worried. Like, you know, last year you saw me, right? When I had the same shirt on. I felt like I couldn't approach you or ask you these hard questions without getting grilled. But I'm so lucky to have you as a co-host where I could make mistakes slip. And instead of you like killing me, like you build me up.
I didn't know I
really
could
do
be-
appreciate that a lot.
I didn't know I could be a better man. I thought I was the betterest man there was out there. And you came along and we just got better and better.
Yo, we're gonna green screen your fucking cardigan out. We're gonna put a whole different body on.
I can't wait to do this episode again next year where Rick wears a different version of a blue shirt with clear buttons.
Yo, come on, chat. Thank you so much for tuning in today. That was
I appreciate everybody. Thanks for chiming in. Shout out. Happy International Women's Day. And we'll see you next week for a brand new episode of Fun with... Yeah, you want to say something?
I want to say I appreciate my mom and my grandma and all my aunts a lot. And they are...
Your sister, too.
My aunt. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
I know.
and my sister. I get into arguments with my mom, but I love her so much, and she's my #1 person ever. I need to spend more time with her. Yeah.
I want to shout out my mom, my sister, and my love, and also all the women in my life as well.
I mean, you gotta shout. Do we have to shout them out? They're there in your life.
Do it.
Do
bro.
it.
All right. Shout out my sister. Shout out my mom.
Nova.
And shout out Nova.
There we
and
go.
let's talk to Alex here. Well, who are you gonna shout out, Alex?
No, actually.
Alex, who you gonna shout out?
Yeah, shout out my mom. Shout out all the
Just
beautiful and wonderful women in my life. Shout out.
All right, there we
Gangbang
go.
right now? Wait.
All right, peace.
All right,
Bye.
peace, yo.